they did it again. WWE looked at millions of frustrated fans, listened to years of complaints, saw all the backlash, all the criticism, all the evidence that we're sick and tired of the same old formula, and they said, you know what? Screw it. Let's give Roman Reigns another accolade he doesn't need. The Royal Rumble, 30 superstars, dreams on the line, career-defining moments waiting to happen. And WWE decided that the guy who's already held the championship for over 1,200 days, the guy who's already main event multiple WrestleManias, the guy who's already been shoved down our throats as the tribal chief for years, he needs to win the Royal Rumble too. Meanwhile, Brock Lesnar, one of the most legitimate athletes in WWE history, got buried like he's some rookie who just walked in off the street. And if that wasn't enough, Paul Heyman is now out here accusing Seth Rollins of, well, we'll get to that absolute bombshell in a minute. If you're not furious right now, just wait. Before we go any further, I need to know, do you think Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble was the right call, or is this just WWE playing it safe again? Drop your honest answer in the comments right now, because I have a feeling this comment section is about to explode. Let's start with the Royal Rumble itself, because this is where WWE showed us, once again, that they don't care what we think. The Royal Rumble is supposed to be the great equalizer. It's the one match where anyone can win, where a mid-carder can become a main eventer overnight, where dreams are made and legacies are cemented. It's supposed to be unpredictable. It's supposed to make us jump off our couches and scream at our televisions because we didn't see it coming. But instead, Roman Reigns enters at number 28, eliminates 4 people in 6 minutes, and wins the whole damn thing like he's playing a video game on easy mode. And we're supposed to act surprised? We're supposed to pretend this is some incredible underdog story. The man has been positioned as the most dominant force in WWE for half a decade, and now we're supposed to believe it's inspiring that he won a match where the odds were literally 29-1 against him. Here's what really grinds my gears about this: there were at least 10 other guys in that match who needed this win more than Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes, still chasing that championship dream. LA Knight, the hottest thing in WWE right now with the crowd going insane every time he speaks. Gunther, the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in modern history who's ready for the main event scene. Centimeter Punk, making his return and looking to reclaim his spot at the top. Shinsuke Nakamura, a former NXT champion who's been criminally underutilized for years. Any one of those guys winning would have created a moment. It would have given us something to talk about, something to get excited about, something fresh. But no, WWE looked at all that potential, all that possibility, and said, nah, let's go with the safe choice. Let's go with Roman. Again. And you know what the worst part is? Roman Reigns doesn't even need the Royal Rumble win. He doesn't need the accolade. He doesn't need the WrestleMania main event spot. He's already got that on lockdown regardless. This win doesn't elevate him. It doesn't add anything to his legacy. All it does is take an opportunity away from someone who could have used it to change their entire career trajectory. Quick question for the comments, and I want honest answers. Name one person who needed the Royal Rumble win more than Roman Reigns. Just one. I'll wait. Now let's talk about how they absolutely buried Brock Lesnar, because this might be even more disrespectful than Roman winning. Brock Lesnar, the Beast incarnate, the guy who broke The Undertaker's WrestleMania streak, the guy who's been WWE Champion and Universal Champion multiple times, the guy who's a legitimate UFC heavyweight champion, got tossed out of the Royal Rumble like he was Tyler Breeze in 2016. Brock entered the match, got a couple of suplexes in, looked mildly threatening for about 90 seconds, and then got eliminated by, and I'm not making this up, a coordinated effort from 3 mid-carders who haven't won a meaningful match in 6 months. No dramatic showdown, no epic final elimination sequence, just, out, done, finished, see you later, Brock. And before you say, well, Brock's part-time, he doesn't need the protection, stop. That's exactly the kind of thinking that's killing this business. Brock Lesnar's entire value is that he's a special attraction. He's the final boss. When Brock shows up, it should mean something. When he's in the Royal Rumble, he should be a threat. Instead, WWE treated him like his enhancement talent, and for what? To make Roman look even more dominant? To prove that the new generation can hang with the old guard? We know the new generation can hang. We don't need to sacrifice Brock Lesnar's credibility to prove a point we already understand. This is the same company that protected The Undertaker until literally his last match. The same company that made sure John Cena always looked strong even when he was putting people over. But Brock? Nah, toss him out like yesterday's trash. Here's my question for you, is Brock Lesnar's mystique permanently damaged after this, or can WWE rebuild him? Because I genuinely don't know if they can put this particular Humpty Dumpty back together again. And now we get to the Paul Heyman situation, which is absolutely wild and somehow getting buried under all this other controversy. Paul Heyman, the wise man, the special counsel, the greatest manager in professional wrestling history, went on record accusing Seth Rollins of deliberately sabotaging Roman Reigns' title reign. Not implying, not suggesting, accusing. According to Heyman, Seth Rollins has been working behind the scenes to undermine Roman's position as the top guy in WWE. Heyman claims that Seth has been politicking in the back, poisoning the well with management, and trying to position himself as the real face of the company. And if that wasn't explosive enough, Heyman also suggested that Seth's recent injury problems weren't entirely legitimate, implying that Seth was using injuries as an excuse to avoid putting Roman over in big matches. Now, let's unpack this for a second, because there's a lot to digest here. First of all, Paul Heyman doesn't just say things for fun. Every word out of his mouth is calculated. Every promo has layers. Every accusation has a purpose. So when he goes after Seth Rollins this hard, in this public forum, it's not an accident. This is either setting up a massive storyline, or it's Heyman doing what Heyman does best, using worked shoots to blur the lines between reality and fiction. But here's where it gets interesting. What if there's some truth to what Heyman's saying? Not the injury stuff, that's almost certainly kayfabe nonsense. But the politicking, the positioning? Look, we know that Seth Rollins has been vocal about wanting to be the guy in WWE. We know he's got the ear of management. We know he's been critical of certain creative decisions in the past. Is it really that hard to believe that Seth might be maneuvering behind the scenes to make sure he's the one getting the top spots? And before the Seth Rollins fans come for me in the comments, I'm not saying Seth's doing anything wrong. This is professional wrestling. Everybody politic. Everybody tries to get themselves in the best position possible. That's not villainy, that's survival. The question is, why is Paul Heyman making this public now? What's the endgame here? I need your thoughts on this one. Do you think Paul Heyman is telling the truth about Seth Rollins, or is this all just storyline setup? Drop your theories below, because this could go in about 17 different directions. Here's what really bothers me about all of this, and why these three stories are connected even though they seem separate at first glance. Every single one of these situations represents WWE's refusal to evolve. Roman winning the Rumble? That's WWE going back to the well one more time instead of taking a risk on someone new. Brock getting buried? That's WWE tearing down one established star to try to build up another, instead of creating new stars organically. Paul Heyman accusing Seth? That's WWE recycling the same authority figure causes dissension angle we've seen 1,000 times. WWE has the most talented roster they've ever had. They've got money they've never had before. They've got more eyeballs on the product than they've had in years thanks to the Netflix deal and international expansion. Everything should be perfect. But instead of using all those advantages to take creative risks, to try new things, to build new stars, they keep going back to the same playbook they've been using since 2015. And the most frustrating part? The talent is good enough. Roman Reigns is a fantastic performer, nobody's denying that. But he doesn't need another accomplishment. Brock Lesnar is a once-in-a-generation athlete, he should be treated like the monster he is. Seth Rollins is one of the best in-ring workers in the entire world, he deserves better than to be caught up in some recycled conspiracy angle with Paul Heyman. These people are talented enough to carry new stories. Fresh stories. Stories we haven't seen before, but WWE won't let them, because WWE is terrified of the unknown. They'd rather give us the same meal we've eaten 100 times than risk serving us something that might actually surprise us. Think about it, when was the last time WWE genuinely shocked you? When was the last time they did something you didn't see coming from a mile away? When was the last time they made a decision that made you think, wow, they are really going for it? I'm genuinely asking, because I can't remember. So here's what I want to know from you, and this is the big question. If you were booking WWE right now, how would you fix this mess? How would you use Roman Reigns without making everyone else look like geeks? How would you rebuild Brock Lesnar's credibility? How would you handle the Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins situation? Give me your best fantasy booking in the comments, because I guarantee at least half of you could do a better job than whatever they've got planned. Look, I love this business. We all love this business, that's why we're here, that's why we watch, that's why we get so frustrated when WWE waste potential like this. The talent deserves better, the stories deserve better, And you, the fans who spend your hard-earned money on tickets and merchandise and streaming services, you deserve so much better than what you're getting. WWE needs to wake up and realize that playing it safe isn't actually safe anymore. Eventually, people are going to get tired of eating the same meal. Eventually, they are going to tune out. And when that happens, all the Netflix deals and international tours in the world won't save them. Final question before you go, on a scale of 1 to 10, how angry are you about Roman winning the Rumble? And don't forget to subscribe to Wrestling Zone 1 because this story is far from over, and we're going to be covering every single development as it happens. This is Wrestling Zone 1, where we tell the truth. Now get in those comments and let me hear you roar.